So majorly how encryption works, right? So what is the requirement of encryption? So every particular time we use that for data security, right? So there is a one thing is that you can encrypt the data at the rest when you are storing the data in database. You are using into passwords in your applications, or maybe also it is very much required when you are passing the data during the transit from your client to a server. Correct. So like this, so there is a different algorithms you use it for an encryption. And in encryption, we use that base 64 encoding concept here internally. So algorithms are use rules for instruction for the uh, basically encryption process, how you wanted to encrypt it. And in the same way, how you wanted to decrypt. So you will get the original data here. So ciphertext here, right? So keys are nothing but randomized strings, or maybe you can say keys which we can use it for what we can say to encrypt it and decrypt it, right? So there is a typically there is also keys. Oh, so as much as the each key is unique and longer keys are harder to break it. So if the people will get the key, that they can easily what we can say break that encryption here, right? So if you are talking about AES, we use that we will have 128 to 256 bit, and that private keys where you are using asymmetric keys, you will have a 204 bit for a public keys here. So symmetric key algorithms or symmetric key encryption are where you use a simple one passphrase for encryption and decryption both. Correct. So if you are sending a data to me, then you are using same key you are using for encryption, same key I will use for a decryption also. Right. So this is a symmetric key system. When we are talking about you use the same key for encryption and decryption. Asymmetric keys are something which we can say you will have a public key, a private key pairs. So you will use that two keys, and one key is remain secret, the private key, while the other key is made widely available to another anyone who needs it. So that in public key, we will use it for encryption. So people will use the public key, right? And the private key is a secret which will you will have a people will keep it with you. So we'll use for a decryption purpose. So the private key are mathematically tied together. So the corresponding private key can only decrypt that information encrypted using the public key here. So this is you need to understand it, right? And these key will store into a key stores. So if here we are talking about normally in Java here, so we use the key tool command and we will use the Java key store to store these keys here. Okay. So this is what we can say common encryption algorithm triple DES, right? For replace the original data encryption in standards here. So this is one of that algorithm here, right? Mostly widely used that symmetric algorithm here. AES, advanced encryption standard algorithm trusted for standard by the US government here, right? So this is AES. You will heard about RSA. So you will also get some type of chances that do you wanted to use AES or RSA. AES is largely considered impervious for all attacks except for brute force, right? Like this. So RSA security is a public key encryption algorithm standard for encrypting data sent over the internet here. Correct. So this is where we are using is for key pair majorly, right? So there is also one of the method used in PGP and GPG, right? Programs. So PGP is for what we can say pretty good privacy, correct? So this is, and there are many such third party provide that PGP implementations, right? So unlike the DES, RSA is considered as the asymmetric algorithm where it will generate the key pairs, public and private keys. Okay. And you will have your private key, public key to encrypt the data and private key for decryption. This is basically, so generally we use that RSA, and it is also one of the methods used in the PGP. So PGP is also we are using a RSA, blowfish and twofish. Also there are basically many other algorithms here. Correct. So PGP is for library written easily to use the PGP into Java environment. Correct. So bouncy casual is majorly a open PGP APIs, which will basically help it to you to develop that PGP encryption here, right? And this is basically remove the boilerplate code, provide the less complex API to use best PGP here. So majorly you will see the PGP implementation in the banking environments when you will see the key pairs implementation for what we can say, especially a asymmetric, asymmetric implementation here. So we will use that something we can call as of now, I will give the demo for your symmetric. We will use the same key, what we can say. So we will use the key tool command that is also available in your Java lib, right? In your bin especially. So bin, you will get that key tool command, and through a key tool, you can use it. So this is the key name here, generate key. This is alias. Here it is a key name, and here we are using AES, and key size is 256, and this is the key store. So my secret, this key store name, you can change it, and this type is the Java key store file here. So what I will do, you can give any name. So I will use that name here, something you can say uh, my app key, right? So this is, you can give it that key store name also, you can change it if you wanted to do it. My secret key store, something you can do, or maybe if you wanted to. So if I will, so you need to understand where you are using a Java key store file. So this key store will be a getting created over there here. So you can give the name also, change the, as of now I have already created. Otherwise you can also create a, you can give some different name. So I am giving that my app key 1, right? Enter. So it will ask for a password here, right? So this is basically a key store password, and here you need to give the enter the key password. So here you can give a password. This is the actual key which we have generated, right? So you will see something uh, in our key store, we have stored that particular our key here. Okay. So this is the key which we are using it, which you have given that in the second time. First time we have given that this is required for your key store, or right, key store, and the second one is actually a key here. So the key you need to have when you are using into a Java file here. So let's go to a Java file. So simple, you need to get that how you are getting the key store, right? And it is the part of your Java security, right? So we are not using any other libraries here. So from the key store, you will get that instance. So what is that type of instance is JKES. So you will see here, right? In this file, this type of key store is a JKES here, correct? Now, so the key store file from where? So this is my key store. So I told you, right? This we need to get that key from the key store. So as of now, I am just giving without any location. You can also give the location here. So from where you wanted to load this key, right? This is my key store password here. So the first password I have given when you are talking about when I have given that particularly a key store. So this first time I have given enter the key store password. So this key store password I have given, correct? So it will ask to you also. When you key that first time, create that key store and everything, it will ask a different other information also, right? Your name, your city, and many such information. And then you can also create the keys, right? So if you wanted to create some different keys, so I will change the key store also. So let's say new, correct? So enter the password. So like this, I'm again creating a my key store here. So now this is a new key store we are creating. Okay. Now you will see, correct, my key store new. So I will give this particular key store in my code here. So this is my key store. Okay. And this is my password. My secret key is, so which is the name of the key here? So the name of the key is basically a my app key 1. So I will give, and I will take it into my app key 1, and here I will pass it. And this is actually a my key here. The password is the key, correct? So we will get that secret key. So cipher is basically a instance, and it is providing how you wanted to encrypt it, right? So the algorithm is something is the instance you will get that it is basically nothing but a AES. So we have used that AES algorithm with 256 here in this particular command here. So this is the AES algorithm 256 bit here. So length of the key is 256. So like this, you can use it, right? So initialize, you will say, this is the particularly a decrypt. I will also use tell with the encryption also, but this is a decrypt mode. If you will go with the encryption, in the encryption also, you can use. So I will change that key here, my app key. Ye, to process for key store and secret key will be remain same, correct? So what I'm doing it here, let's say with encryption, change it. I will change the key store here also. So this is my key store, correct? Like this, correct? So this is the encryption mode, correct? And here you are pass it. So which particular text we wanted to encrypt it? I wanted to encrypt this hello world here, right? So cipher.do final here, you will get the encrypted bytes here, and we will pass into a base 64 encoding here, correct? So base 64 is static method here, which is basically for using for encoding and decoding here, correct? So that is this byte string, we will pass it in for a encoding here, right? So you will get that base 64 dot get encoder dot encode to string. In your decoding, you will say get dot get decoder. Okay. So like this, what we will say, so we will pass that encrypt mode and this secret key. So this secret key is nothing but, which is majorly we have created this key we are getting from this, you can say Java key store, right? And this is the password for accessing this Java key store, correct? So if I will run this code here, so you see, this is the encrypted string we get it. So anybody cannot understand this script and what is this encrypted string. Maybe it is a transaction data if you are sending any transaction request and all these things. So like this full string, full data will be getting encrypted here. So when you will encrypt it, then at the server side, we will run the code for decryption. So everything, again, we are getting that key instance of a key store. We will load it. So this is our key store. This is the password for key store. Then again, we will get this key and this is actually key here, right? Then you will pass that here decrypt mode here and you will pass the secret key. In your encryption, we use that encryption mode and we pass the secret. So this cipher is the majorly what we can say, the way it will tell how you wanted to encrypt it, correct? So this object is basically helping us for how you wanted to encrypt and this init method for your initialization here. So this here we are getting it, correct? So this string we wanted to decrypt. So as of now, I am just getting the same string which we have encrypted, correct? So this is encrypted means when you decrypt it, we should get that hello world here. So here we are getting that base 64, right? And we are base 64 dot get decoder dot decode it, correct? So like this is the way we are using a base 64 encoding also here, correct? So as I already told you, right? So we are using a base 64 encoding when we wanted to use for decoding and encoding here, correct? And then you will get that encrypted bytes here, correct? So sorry, decrypted. So if I will run this one, so you will say this decrypted is nothing but the hello world we are getting it, correct? So this way you can get that what we can say the data here for how you can use the encryption and the decryption here. So majorly you need to understand that how base 64 encoder decoder works. This is not required. You can also do a get 64 encoding and decoding with your plain Java also without any encryption also. So base 64 encoding decoding, you can also do it with the simple string as well. Means this kind of a code also you can try and you can do it, correct? But how you wanted to decode, or you can say encrypt it, that is through your encryption, or maybe through the process which is we are implementing with the help of Cipher, right? But if you wanted to use, just try to understand how the base 64 encoding works, that is also you can use these APIs and you can try with without any encryption also. Okay. So this way you can understand that symmetric algorithm, the basic concept of a fundamental of encryption here. Okay. So I think we are just done for this encryption. If you have any questions, you can let me know.